Okay, hi, I'm Mark Drummond, head coach of Drum Spartans fighting team. Today, the tutorial is going to be about the jab, okay, and the effect of the jab, how we use the jab, how to bring your fighter through and practice using the jab, okay. We'll start on the bag, and I'll show you different techniques, different ways of using it, and the foundation, okay. We'll start from there. So, what we do with our fighter, okay, is make sure they're in their correct fighting stance position, okay. Try to make them sure that they throw their jab when they're practicing their jab, okay, that they keep the same shape and technique, okay, that the hand isn't drifting around when they're practicing it. That comes later in their development, but for the basic training practices, you need to have it in the same position all the time, okay, just so they can get the shape, the movement, the technique right every time it lands, okay. Now, two ways to throw the jab, okay, you have the hand turning in, you have the straight punch, okay? They're both two different techniques. They both have a different purpose, okay? Running through that very quickly, okay, and we'll elaborate on it later when we do the pad work, okay? The first part is jab turning over, the standard, bog standard jab that everybody uses, okay? Sending it in, sending it in, sending it in, sending it in, okay? Using the twist and the hip and driving it long, okay, through your opponent. The second one, okay, which is coming from the straight hand with the knuckles facing upwards, okay? We use this for speed. Okay? When combined with the two, okay? And that's the two different reasons why we use it. We use this one for speed to get into our opponent. We use this one for power and drive. Okay? So again, when you're practicing with your student, assume your position, keep the guard up, make sure they practice with the guard. Start with the basic punch, step in. When they use the second punch, again, relax into position, keep the guard up, snap the shot in, snap the shot in, snap the shot in. Okay? Always keeping the shoulder facing the bag. Okay? Eventually you can start moving them around. Stepping through, but always keeping it long. Okay? We'll develop that, we'll show you that again on the pads with a person to person and where you can practice it again. So going back to the foot position, okay? Again, a lot of fighters, we have, the way we have it, okay? We try to encourage the hip turn, okay? So if you're facing in your orthodox position, your left hip turning into your punch, using the hip to develop the power as well. A lot of guys don't explain to the coaches don't explain to their students that the punch doesn't just come from the top, from the shoulder, it comes from the hip as well, okay? So you find that your student, when they're turning in awkwardly into the punch because they're not using the hip. By using the hip, incorporating the hip into the technique, combined with the stepping, okay, you develop power and snap. Okay? One of the mistakes that you'll find that your student does at first when they don't understand the actual movement of the arm into the target and out again is what we call a sticky hand. Okay? The sticky hand tends to follow your opponent around. So you'll get, for example, they'll push through too long. The hand won't come back, so there'll be no snap on the jab. So you'll find them doing this. And that makes it slow, leaves them open to an overhand comeback or counter shot, okay? So when you're with your student, practice touching the bag, bringing the hand back fast. Bring the hand back off the target fast. Eventually, so just for you guys, for when you're going home now, when you've left the gym, you're in the mirror, you're doing your basic homework, what your coach sent you home to do, stand in front of the mirror so you've got your target facing you, okay? Into that same position, your bog standard position, okay? And just snapping towards your face, using your hip and shape, extending your reach, looking at your guard, looking at your technique, making sure from here that your line into the target area is covered, okay? You're not open wide. And as you turn your jab in, you're covering it. Okay? Keeping your guard up. Making sure your guard's in the right position. Coming back out. In, back out. In, back out. Okay? And again, the same with the straight hand. If you're practicing the straight hand, assume the position, line up with yourself in the mirror, snap it in, snap it in, snap it in, snap it in, bringing it back to the target area. Making sure you're guarded. Good stuff. Okay. Mark D. Okay? Next week, counter, cross. Thank you. Take care.